Hello. For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Kelly O'Donnell. Happy Groundhog's Day. Groundhog's Day is a day that comes once a year where the groundhog Punxsutawney Phil comes out of hibernation and predicts when spring will come in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. If he sees his shadow, that means there's 6 more weeks of winter, but if he doesn't see a shadow, then spring will come early. This year, he did not see a shadow, so that means that spring will come early. In spirit of my chapel being on Groundhog's Day, I have chosen to do lessons I learned from the movie Groundhog Day. The movie Groundhog Day was made in 1993 and is a classic and is loved by millions of people. You can find many important life lessons in the movie. There are people who worship the movie religiously, like the religion Buddhism. They believe that the movie holds some kind of spiritual meaning for their religion and their beliefs. The movie Groundhog Day is about Phil, a weatherman who gets stuck replaying the same day, February 2nd, which is also known as Groundhog Day, over and over again, and he has to try to find a way out. Here's a trailer of the movie to help explain what the movie is about for those of you who have never seen it before.
Groundhog time.
1,000 people freezing their butts off waiting to worship a rat.
Weatherman Phil Connors is spending the day in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Phil? Ned Ryerson. I did the whistling belly button trick at the high school talent show.
Bing!
Bang!
But Phil's about to find out he's not just stuck in Punxsutawney.
Will you be checking out today, Mr. Connors?
Chance of departure today, 100%.
He's stuck
It's Groundhog Day!
in Groundhog Day.
I'm reliving the same day over and over.
Phil?
Ned Ryerson?
Bang!
Do you ever have deja vu, Mrs. Lancaster?
I don't think so, but I could check with the kitchen.
Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again?
At first, he was a little anxious.
Phil? What?
Will you be checking out today, Mr. Connors?
I'd say the chance of departure is 80%.
But now,
We could do whatever we want.
he's discovering the possibilities
Don't you worry about cholesterol?
Why?
and living life like there's no tomorrow.
Phil Connors!
Ned!
Because there isn't.
I am an immortal. I have been stabbed, shot, burned, frozen, electrocuted. I'm a god.
You're God.
I'm a god. I'm not the god.
He's out of his gourd.
But to get what his heart wants most
What are you looking for, Phil? A date for the weekend?
means living this day over again till he gets it right.
Believe it or not, I studied 19th century French poetry.
What a waste of time.
I studied 19th century French poetry.
La fille qui j'aimerais.
You speak French.
Oui.
Bill Murray, Andy McDowell,
To the groundhog.
I always drink to world peace. Well, what should we drink to?
I like to say a prayer and drink to world peace. Don't drive angry. Don't drive angry.
He might be okay.
Yes!
Groundhog Day!
life has a funny way of repeating itself.
What did you do today?
Oh, same old, same old.
Although you could find tons of lessons from the movie, here are the top 7 lessons that stood out to me most. Lesson number 1 is that you should live life to the fullest. In the movie, Phil is replaying the same day over and over again. He finds that living the same day is really boring. Towards the end of the movie, he starts to try out different things to fill in his days and then start over the next day. From this, I learned that to make your day fun and enjoy it, you have to try new things, and if you fail, get up and try again. In my life, I sometimes feel like I'm repeating the same day over and over again. I wake up, go to school, come home, do homework, go to sleep, and then start over again the next morning. I find that when you try new experiences or do something that you have never tried before, it makes your day better, and you wake up the next morning feeling accomplished and good about yourself. Lesson number 2 is that you should live life with a positive attitude. In the beginning of the movie, Phil is being really negative about everything in his life. His coworkers, his job, and he is so miserable that he tries to kill himself over and over again. He is rude to everybody and makes everybody around him miserable as well. Once Phil started having a positive attitude, he was enjoying himself more and making better use out of his time. When you are negative, you are making you, yourself, and those around you miserable. I think that this movie tells you that it is important to have a positive attitude. When you are positive, you accomplish much more and have a better time doing so than if you're negative. Lesson number 3 is that sometimes you need to reach your end to grow. In this movie, Groundhog Day, the lesson stands out to me a lot in the movie. This lesson plays out throughout the entire movie. In the movie, Phil is miserable because he is reliving the same day over and over again, and he can't do anything to stop it. He gets really depressed and starts doing stupid things in hopes that it will kill himself. And his situation gets so bad that he stops caring about everything and makes impulsive decisions. Soon he realizes that there is a lot more to life, and he grows as a person to become somebody who cares about people and learns the true meaning of life. This teaches you that when you are at your worst, it will get better and you just have to get through it. In the end, you will change for the better and learn about yourself and how you can be a better person. Lesson number 4 is that you find happiness in the happiness of others. Phil hated his job and wasn't very happy with his life. He didn't really have any friends or anybody that he cared about. Throughout the movie, he is surrounded by people who are kind and care about him, which changes him to be a better person. He starts to do something with his life and starts to make friends. Practically everybody in the town loved him. From the beginning of the movie and the end, he turned into a completely different person. When you are surrounded by people who care about you and love you, you change too. You change into a person like they are from being around them. This lesson can also work the other way around. You could be the person who helps make the people around you a better person. I find that in my life, my friends and my family help shape me into a better person. They push me to try new things and do things that might scare me. Without my friends and family, I wouldn't be the person I am today. Lesson number 5 is that a consequence-free life is boring. When Phil's life is constantly replaying, he always starts over the next day with a clean slate. Because of that, it doesn't matter what he does, he has no consequences. He gets bored, and every day he would do one stupid thing after another with no consequences. Without consequences, life is meaningless and empty. They are important because they teach you lessons to help you be a better person once you learn from your mistakes. If you get away with everything, you end up not knowing what's right and what's wrong. You don't learn from your experiences and the things you did wrong unless you get punished for your actions. Lesson number 6 is to live in the moment. In the movie, Phil is so focused on the future and getting past February 2nd that he doesn't focus on the present and what is best for him, to be able to move on without being miserable. Throughout the movie, he is so focused on wanting to get out of the continuous loop of replaying February 2nd over and over again that he tries to figure out a way out by trying many different things, like dying and telling people what's happening and hoping that they believe him. At the end of the movie, he starts to care more and just lives in the moment and is happy. Once he did that, the continuous loop of Groundhog Day came to an end, and it was finally the next day. I feel like this is one of the most important lessons you can learn. When you live in the moment, you are happier because you're not worrying about what happened in the past or what might scare you in the future. You are just focusing on what is best for you in the moment. One summer, I was forced to go to a summer camp that I really didn't want to go to. I was so focused on wanting it to be over so that I could leave that I ended up having a worse time than I thought. The next day, I went to camp and I tried to focus on what we were doing at the moment and stop worrying about when it would be over. Because of that, I ended up having a great time and met a lot of really great friends. The last lesson, and in my opinion, the most important lesson you can learn from the movie, is that you have to have hope. During the movie, when Phil wakes up and realizes that he is replaying the same day over and over again, he tries to find a way out of it. But later he finds out that there is no escaping it. He starts to slowly lose hope that he will ever make it to the next day. Every day that he relives, his days become more meaningless and he loses more hope. In the middle of the movie, he has completely lost all hope and is almost non-existent. He goes on with his days as usual, but his days no longer have meaning, and he gives up on trying to find a way to stop reliving the same day. Towards the end, all of Phil's friends show him that there is more to life and that life is meaningless without people that love you and care about you. He is starting to have better days and living them with people that make him happy, but in the morning, all was forgotten and he had to start over. He starts to regain hope that one day the endless day will end and that he can live a happy life. And because of that, he eventually wakes up one morning and it's February 3rd. Hope is a very important thing that you need in your life. Without it, life is meaningless. When you are going through a hard time, you need to have hope that it will get better. This movie is a great movie and you can learn a lot from it. It is also hilarious. This movie can teach you many life lessons that you can use in your everyday life. In conclusion, I'd like to end with a quote from the movie. What if there was no tomorrow? There wasn't one today. Thank you.